I won't dim my light for no one.
Welcome back to the Multi-Passionate Mama podcast. Every week I want to bring you a little mini episode where I share something that's been on my mind, something that's really present for me. I love having guests, but sometimes I find that I have these quirky, fascinating ideas that I want to share. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Multi-Passionate Mama podcast. Today I wanted to talk to you about what has been on my mind, because that's what we do in these minisodes, and that is my fingernails. That seems like a really silly thing to have on my mind right now, but I promise you that it is relevant and important. And so my question is, what do my fingernails have to do with personal development and breaking habits and becoming better, and especially inner child work and overcoming the past things that we've been working on for so long. So the story behind this is that I've been biting my fingernails since I could chew, since I could move, since I could walk, run, talk, sing, all of it. I've been biting my fingernails my entire life. It's been a habit I've tried to break countless times throughout my life. And what's been funny is, as I've looked at myself, I love doing my makeup, I love doing my hair, and the one part of me that didn't really fit, that was inconsistent, was my fingernails. Chewed to bleeding every day. I sometimes would wear nail polish, but I would always chew it off. Every time I would sit in a Zoom meeting, I would be chewing at my fingernails or picking at them or something. And this summer, I was able to take a class where I did some really, really deep inner child work. And I worked on digging up parts of my past that I had forgotten about, things that are really difficult to remember. And as I began to understand myself better, I began to realize I've been biting my fingernails because that's my subconscious way of playing small. That's my way of making myself smaller in a way that doesn't draw a lot of attention, because so many people will bite their nails. What is interesting about this is, about a year ago, maybe it was only 6 months ago, I don't remember, I was in a workshop with Tracy Litt, who you might have heard before. I totally admire Tracy Litt. And I was getting coached by Coach Amanda, who's phenomenal. And another person asked the question about, if being coached by Coach Amanda and in this program of theirs, if it would help her stop biting her fingernails. And one thing that they say in all these programs and things is how is it possible that watching other people get coached can help you grow? And it was so amazing to witness as this other girl got coached, and I grew so much from it. And she was, the response she got was that biting your fingernails, like many, many other habits, is not actually about the thing that you're doing. It's not about the overeating. It's not about the biting of your fingernails. It's not about the twisting of your hair or pulling out your eyebrows or whatever bad habit you have. It's not about the surface level thing that you're doing. You have to dig really deep. You have to get to know yourself better and understand the root cause of why you are doing that thing in the first place. That is really what you have to do in order to be able to stop the habit. And I realized that I've tried to stop biting my fingernails over and over and over again throughout my life. I've tried the nasty tasting fingernail polish. I've tried, doing my nails every single week and cutting them and paying special attention to them, because this has been the one part of my appearance that's been inconsistent, right? And I love looking good, and this was the one thing that I was short on, right? I've tried so hard to stop biting my fingernails and I've never been able to be successful at it. So hearing this concept that it's not about willpower and trying to force yourself to break this habit, because even if you do, it'll show up in some other way because the root cause is not being addressed. You have to understand why you are doing it in the first place. Oh my gosh, life-changing. So here I am, 6 months, a year later, and I've been through this whole process of like understanding why I was biting my fingernails. It's because I was trying to play small. That was my subconscious way of, here's the way that I can make myself smaller, but no one will notice. Nobody's really looking at my fingernails. It's not obvious to anyone else. No one else really cares. I'm hurting myself, like literally causing blood and pain, and in a way that it's not obvious to anybody else. It's not really surface level, top of mind for anybody but me. I can cause myself pain on a daily basis, but it's not a big deal to anybody else. Oh my gosh, what a deep realization that here was my way to play small. Now, I've done performances like for competitions and stuff, and I've put fake fingernails on top of my nails, and I could not stand them. I couldn't stand them for the whole hour of the performance. I would sit there and I would hate them and loathe them, and I could think of nothing else. They lasted about that hour, and then the moment I got home, I tore them off. It didn't matter what damage I caused to my fingernails, because the glue is meant to last more than an hour, right? I would tear those nails off of my hands because I could not stand them for a second longer. I loathed them with every fiber of my being. And every time my fingernails would grow to where I could actually feel the fingernail over my finger, and I don't mean like longer than my finger itself. I mean to where I could just feel the edge of my fingernail. I would bite it off, or I would cut it off. Okay, let's be honest, I would usually bite it off because it had to be gone immediately. When I was little and I would hold my mom's hand, I couldn't stand her long fingernails. It would drive me nuts. I couldn't bear the long fingernails. Well, as a result of what has been such a deep inner journey over this summer, I mean, so much work, and I thank Dejalie LeBrier for that, and she was on my show not too long ago, so you can go listen to her episode, and you can join her classes that she runs, and she's just incredible. I've been wearing fake nails for like a month, like a whole month, like actually an entire month. My nails look better than they have in my whole freaking life. Listen to this. You can hear my nails. I have fingernails. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it. I just tried one day. I tried putting the fake nails on, and it wasn't as hard as I remembered it being. I mean, I still was like messing with them constantly because there's habits that die hard, right? Like, I'm very, very used to having no fingernails. My whole life, I've had no fingernails. Like, the way that I open packages and the way that I do everything has had to change because I'm now using a different part of my finger to do everything. So that's been really interesting. But I've been able to do it. It's been really incredible to break this habit. And one thing I want to mention here is that you really, when you're trying to break a habit like this, don't do more than one at a time. Don't try to, perfect yourself all at once. Don't try to change yourself all at once. Do baby steps. Do one little thing at a time, because your system cannot tolerate that big of an upgrade, that big of an up level all at once. Like, you need to titrate into it. You need to slowly become the next level of yourself, of who you're meant to be. It'll overwhelm your system if you try to do too much at once. So, other habits like actually drinking water and getting to bed on time and things like that are gonna have to wait while I work on this nail habit. And it takes time. It's been about a month of wearing these fake nails and changing them out several times, right? Starting off with them really, really short, and then making them shorter, and then making them longer, and seeing how I can adjust. And using different types of glue, playing with it to see how I can tolerate it. But it's been such a journey of I'm so freaking proud of myself. For the first time in my life, I'm able to look at my fingernails and feel joy about how they look. It's amazing. It's so freaking amazing. So the point of this all is, when you're trying to break a habit, look deep. Look at the root cause. Why? Don't just try to push through it and forcefully overcome something. Find the root cause. Figure out why. Know yourself. Know yourself. That is the greatest thing you can do, is know yourself. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Multi-Passionate Mama Podcast. I know that we can never be told too many times how amazing we are, so in case you haven't been told today, you are a freaking rock star. When you let yourself shine, you allow other people to take off their filters and shine brightly too. It's about time someone gave you permission to be all of you. If you enjoyed this show, please leave me a review and hit that subscribe button. I know you want more of this. Sharing is caring. Let someone you love know how incredible they are by texting them the link to this episode. They will feel so good just knowing that you thought about them. Lastly, if you want to know more about my courses and coaching, be sure to check out my website for up-to-date details on everything I have available. It's caroleegarrison.com, and the link is in the show notes. Always remember that you are a diamond. Don't let anyone dim your sparkle.